Well,
Sounds good.
hello and welcome to Hair Metal Mixtape.
Thank you, Gabe. Appreciate it. Cheers.
Thanks for doing this, man. We're like 14 hours apart with you guys being in Australia and me being in New York. Where exactly are you in Australia?
I'm in Melbourne, Australia, and in Melbourne, which I'm a little bit biased. I think it's the best city, and Victoria is the best state in Australia. Sydney, New South Wales would probably disagree with me, but who cares, right?
Starting some controversy already, right?
Exactly. That's right. That's right. New York. I love New York. So you're in New York. Excellent.
Yeah, I'm usually doing this in Brooklyn, but with the weather and stuff, they've let me do it up where I live, which is about an hour north in the Hudson Valley. It's called, which is more mountains and a lot more country-like.
Oh, cool, cool, man. I have been to New York a couple of times and loved it. I'm sure I probably saw a little bit more of the tourist side of things, but yeah, really loved it. Manhattan, I've been to Jersey, and great pizza, man.
Nice, that's awesome, dude. There's always
Yeah,
good pizza, right? And falafel too, for some reason. But yeah, it all works out good too. The food
that's
in
it.
general.
Cool.
Um,
Awesome.
First of all, congratulations, man, on an amazing kick-ass album, Wait for the Night, which came out this past October of 2021.
Yeah.
Man, dude, this album is definitely all killer and no filler, man. Congrats on that.
Thank you, man. Look, the feedback's been great, Gabe, and we're just, yeah, very overwhelmed by the response. It's been awesome, and we put a lot of work into it, but it's the response has been really good, particularly because we've taken the independent route, so a little bit different.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. So let's talk about that latest release you're telling me about, Days of Delirium. Um,
Yeah, well, Days of Delirium will be the next single on from the Wait for the Night album, and it's a crowd favorite. That's always the encore song in Australia. It's a very easy sing along song, and some songs take not are quick to write, and some take ages. And with Days of Delirium, that came together pretty quickly, man. And yeah, it's been great.
yeah, it seems like within the lyrics, you're definitely addicted to someone or something in that song. I heard the lyrics. What is it? Before I lose my heart in your cyber storm. Like, what's that all about?
Yeah, well, I guess it's touching on technology and social media, and it seems these days that if you're not on social media, then you're kind of not up with things. So yeah, it's a little bit of a dig about that, and as is a lot of the album. Actually, we tend to touch on subjects that are probably not the stereotype. I mean, I think we've only got one or two songs about love, and it's just very, very mixed. And that was a thing that we wanted to talk about. I mean, Sign of Times is another one. It's just about what we've been going through with the whole COVID thing, I guess. So yeah, we like to mix it up, and it's all about good hooks and hopefully good songs, and it's great that it's been transferring, man.
That's awesome. Yeah, and you guys have what, like 5 or 6 singles before that one, right?
Yeah,
Including
yeah.
this next one, Days of Delirium. And I think you said you're going to make a video for it, right? Like, do you have any idea of what the video is going to be about or what it's going to look like yet? Or what do we expect to see?
Um, yeah, yeah. Well, we're filming it next Friday, so in a week's time, and it's going to be a little bit sort of like a trailer sort of kind of idea where it's wrecked cars and stuff, and we're going to aim to have some flamethrowers and stuff, and yeah, it's something a little bit different. We've done a couple of videos indoors, and this one's going to be outdoors to kind of just make do something different. So yeah, I'm really glad that we are doing a video for this song because, as I mentioned before, the response to it has been amazing, particularly in our hometown of Melbourne. Like the whole club is singing along. It's just so amazing. We've been blessed that we've played quite a lot over the last year and a half. Even though COVID has happened, we've done our best to, as soon as there's an opportunity, we'll play, even if it's scaled back audiences. And the response to Days of Delirium has been amazing.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Yeah, and those I just wanted to mention the last releases, right? You have a Killer at Large, Last Goodbye, Date with the
Yep.
Devil, Don't Wait for Me, and Love's Got a Hold on You, right? Or did you not release
Love's got
that
a
yet?
hold. Yeah,
You have
life's
a
got a
video
whole.
for it, right? Like a live. I saw a live video for it, which is
Oh
really
yes,
cool.
yes, correct. Yes, that's right. That was from our album launch in Melbourne, our hometown. Yeah, man, it's cool. It really is cool. So yeah, as I mentioned, we're just so happy with the way things have been received worldwide, let alone just locally. So it's been amazing.
Was that that album drop show you guys did, the first show you guys did like post pandemic?
No, not at all. We've played, gosh, probably 5 shows before
Oh, that's
that. It was
awesome.
just more of, yeah, it was just more of the time and the opportunity came about at a cool venue, and we were, kind of on ice for a little while because we were wondering if we were going to be able to do the show because then the Omicron hit and stuff. So yeah, we're glad we actually got to play that show, and yeah, man, just really cool.
Just in
So
time, right?
yeah, absolutely, yeah. I mean, we're a working band, so we'll play as often as we can. I mean, we've got, hopefully, if all things happen, we've got a tour of the UK coming up in November, and I think there's about 11, 12, 13 dates on that. And then we want to, just branch out. So we're a band that is international as well. Like, we'll play in the, definitely want to play in the States, and so many people have bought the album from the United States. It's just crazy not to. So we've got distribution in the UK. We've got distribution in Japan. So it's been pretty cool, and doing it yourself, I've learned so much in terms of getting the album out there, because we've been with labels in the past, a couple of the band members, myself and Danny the singer. So this time we just thought, what, we were offered a couple of deals, Gabe. There's probably 5 or 6 deals that were offered, and we just thought, what, after really reading the record deals, we thought we could do it ourselves, and
Yeah.
this way we cut out the middleman, and hopefully keep things cheap for our audience as well in terms of buying the product.
Seems to be the move these days with a lot of bands,
Yeah, and I'm not going to lie, it is hard. And of course, if a fantastic record deal came along, we'd take it. But for the ones that were offered, we just thought, look, we've been there, done that. We can do this ourselves, and so far so good.
Nice. I noticed that Love's Got a Hold on You and Days of Delirium are on the original EP released. Are those the same like mixes and recordings that you put on the new album, or have they been kind of reworked?
They were remastered, yeah.
Remastered,
And
okay.
we've been very happy, because right through I've been working. I wrote a lot of the songs with my good friend Paul Lane and Bruno Ravel, who's a New Yorker, right?
Yeah.
He actually mastered the CD. So yeah, there was a couple of little tinkering things that we did, and let's hope that we can get it out on vinyl as well. So fingers crossed.
Oh yeah, that'd be fantastic. Wow, yeah, that'd be great. Any plans on releasing anything else from this album after Days of Delirium video comes out?
It may be the last one that we make a film clip for, because we've just started writing for follow-up. And I mean, that's quite a while away, but we've already written one tune, and we're very happy with the way that's come out. And we want to have quite a few before we even think about something like that. But we're definitely moving forward, that's for sure. I think next week's rehearsal, we're working on a new tune as well. So, and a lot of the stuff gets demoed beforehand in our studios, and then we jam it out and try some things in the studio rehearsal, and then we'll record it proper after that.
Awesome. And then you're probably going to go out and try that stuff, some live shows.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the beauty of what I think has allowed us to hopefully have a very strong album, because we got to road test all the songs, and it even, we're big fans of, also, like I mentioned before, with vinyl, having songs in a good order. I think it's so important, just to keep that flow. We're old school.
Yeah, no, I love that. I always talk about that with other bands. It's like the order of the albums, and especially when you have a side A and a side B.
That's right. And we actually, with the CD, We because we always wanted to make have the album released on vinyl. So when it does come out that way, it actually is in the order already on CD. So you take the first 5 songs and then you turn it over and you'll have songs 6 to 10. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So I was curious, like, what's the story of Wicked Smile? Like, do you guys have like an origin story? Like, how'd you guys all meet? And like, is this still the original lineup?
Well, the band came about after I played in a band called Black Majesty, a power metal band, for almost 20 years.
Oh,
and
wow.
I'm still great mates with all the guys. And when when we chatted and we decided that it was probably time for me to leave and do something different, I just found myself writing a lot of material that kind of paid homage to the stuff that got me into music back in the day, like in the 80s. So when I was in high school, there were bands like Dio and Judas Priest and Skid Row and Def Leppard and stuff like that I just thought, man, I want to write songs kind of like in that vein. And they just started coming. I think I'd written Love's Got a Hold on You, and what was that? We Fall, I think, was the first song. And it just kept on coming. And I played them to my producer, Paul Lane, and he really loved them and helped tweak a couple of things. And then it was time to find a singer. So when it was time to find a singer, I always wanted to work with Danny Ciccardi in the past, who has sang with Pegasus in Australia and IFEA previously. And I knew that he'd probably be available because I hadn't heard him being in any other band or something. And I just contacted him. He loved the material. He sang on We Fall, and that's when we knew that was it, man. So we were committed. And then slowly we formed the band, and I got Glenn Cav in the band on bass, and Jason Tyra on drums, and the final piece was Dave Graham on guitar, and he's an amazing guitar player. And that's it, man. It's come about pretty quickly and easily. I think we've been together now for almost 2 years. So that's, but having said that, we've had a lot of experience over the years in playing in other bands. So I pretty much wrote the majority of the album with my good friend Paul. And from there, the guys jammed it out and stuff. So there was always a vision of what kind of style of album I wanted to make with Wicked Smile. And yeah, man, it's been going great.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it's a great story. What about the name of the band?
Wicked Smile. It was just a play on words, pretty much. I like the idea of the word wicked.
Yeah.
And then I started thinking about something a little bit, a little bit freaky that we could work with in terms of imagery. And then we thought, look, Wicked Smile. When people sometimes smile, it can be a wicked smile, and you don't know really where they're at. So it's kind of like, is it a nice smile or is it a wicked smile? And a lot of our artwork it kind of plays on the album name Wicked Smile, and it's a little bit of a touch of a vampire theme. And yeah, man, just always loved a lot of the 80s and 70s and 80s bands that had the imagery of the hard rock heavy metal, whereas whether it be Dio or Iron Maiden or Halloween, you get this Kiss, you just get that larger than life thing. So it's just something quirky that we're kind of going with.
Yeah, I love the continuity of all the artwork. Who's the artist that does all that for you?
Thank you. Yeah, it's a friend of mine, Angel, and she is just brilliant. Really, she's fantastic.
Gorgeous,
yeah. I've always said to her, look, this is the style, and we want people to be able to see the artwork and think of Wicked Smile. And that's kind of the go there.
That's pretty awesome, man. Do you and the guys all have similar taste in music?
We're a little bit varied. Like, for example, myself, I am from the school of, I mentioned some of the bands of Judas Priest, Skid Row, Dokken, Queensryche, Fates Warning, Lynch Mob. So, that kind of TNT, a bit more hard rock metal. The vocalist, Danny, is very influenced by, I guess, your Judas Priest, Dio, Sabotage, he loves Sabotage. Bass players into bands like Faith No More and Metallica.
Okay.
And Jason likes Rush and Ozzy Osbourne. So I guess a similar kind of thing. And last but by no means least, Dave is influenced by a lot of the guitar heroes, you know, being an awesome guitar player, whether it be Randy Rhoads or Warren DeMartini and Eddie Van Halen, Jimi Hendrix, you know, so all the classics. So we've got a heavy rock metal kind of bond, but you know, we do sort of, you know, shuffle around a little bit in terms of some stuff, but it kind of makes what we do work. And I very much I scouted out the guys in the scene, so I always knew that I'd love to be in a band with Danny and Cav and just members that are good people as well as good musicians. That's so important, particularly if you're going to be, it's like a 5-way marriage kind of style thing when you're on tour and stuff, right? It's just it can be so difficult and challenging. So, you know, really good people who really enjoy what we do.
Was a lot of that hard rock stuff around when you were younger, growing up, like, or
for me, 100%, man. Yeah. Like I was that kid in high school who was engraving, you know, mastering the Dio and Judas Priest logo on my school books, you know, and Dokken and Rat, you know, and all of us, I would probably say, are very, very similar. We all love music, and you know, doing it, you know, with the 5 guys in an original band, it's amazing. It really is.
Yeah, that's awesome. And speaking of that artwork, man, I was checking out the Wicked Smile store online, and you guys have got yourself some pretty wicked merch in there, man. There's a lot of stuff in there. It's great.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's the store has been, you know, doing really, really well. And as I mentioned, sometimes, you know, people have actually even mentioned, even in other interviews, they go, man, it's like you guys are signed to a major label with all the shirts and the merch and stuff, and like we're selling out gigs, you know, like, I mean, last year we sold out 6 shows, and same thing, you know what I mean? It just continues to grow, and we're getting people all over the world buying our gear, and that's the ultimate compliment. It really is, you know. So not only are people buying CDs, but they want to wear your T-shirt as well and buy buy shirts and stuff. So it really is fantastic. Thank you.
Is social media the easiest way to get to this merch store?
Yeah, it's the store that's run by us, which is an Equid store. If people click on our YouTube page, for example, and look at the information, you'll see links on every one of our songs, and same thing on our Facebook page. You scroll down a little bit, you'll definitely see a link to the Equid page, and that's probably the easiest way of going about it, because I mentioned before, we've also got the CD available in Japan via distribution, Bicky Music and Cargo Records in the UK. But otherwise, you can buy it via us. And then what I really love, we've got a good friend named Brian in the United States who we've sent a bunch of boxes to, who distributes our CD to the States. So you're still paying pretty much, you know, for local shipping. It's not coming from Australia, it's coming from the United States, and people are getting it 2-3 days later after they order in the United States.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, that's definitely helpful. I also noticed on that website, you guys are selling tickets for Danny's birthday bash featuring we got special guest Cassidy Paris on Saturday, March 19th at GM Sound Studios, man. That sounds like fun.
Oh, man. Well, again, I've known Danny, you know, we've done the scene together. So, you know, from back in the day, since we were teenagers and playing in rival bands. And so it's just such a pleasure to be able to celebrate his 50th. And that's so awesome. And we have my daughter, Cassidy Paris, who's on the bill as well. So
that's awesome. I didn't know that was your daughter. That's great.
Yeah. She's so she's a teenager, and she's a singer and guitar player and songwriter, and that's been going really well also. We actually just played 2 sold-out shows last weekend with Cassidy. So and she's a rock chick, man. You know, she's wearing a lot of my old T-shirts. She's wearing the Dokken T-shirt, and you know, so it's it's really, really cool to be able to rock out on stage with your daughter. That's for sure.
Oh man, that's amazing. And you mentioned some of those tours coming up. Do you have anything solidified yet? Do you guys have any tours or festivals?
We do, just they haven't been announced yet. So
Okay.
that's going to be announced in the next probably fortnight for the UK. So we're waiting on that. And after that, man, you know, we're like, you know, and I'm having all these people writing to me from, like, you know, the Monsters of Rock cruise and stuff, you know, and people are saying, would you guys play it? Of course we'd play it, man.
Heck yeah.
You know, speak to the organizers, get them to get us on there, you know. So, yeah, as I mentioned before, we'll travel, you know, anywhere that people who love our music, man, it just works both ways because we're very humbled.
Yeah, have band, will travel.
Absolutely, yeah, and for sure, that's why we're doing it, man. We love performing, and then we love watching all the other bands. I mean, I've played in the UK, I think something like about 4 or 5 times before and toured there, and to be billed with you know, some of your idols. Like, I mean, I played one show with Night Ranger, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, like, Night Ranger is a band that I loved back in the day, and you know, Dawn Patrols and Midnight Madness, they're 2 of my favorite all-time albums, you know. And I said that to Brad Gillis, you know, and same thing of when I've played gigs with Skid Row, you know, like told the guys, and I said, you guys are the reason why I picked up the guitar, you know, you and Scotty Hill. I said to Dave Snake, and he gave me a hug, and we chatted for ages, man. You know, it's just, I love meeting, you know, particularly when you meet your idols and they're good people, you know, that's really cool. George Lynch is another one, man. I mean, first rate, you know, one of the best guitar players of all time, and he's just a really awesome person, you know. It's just unreal.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's probably why they're still around too, right?
That's right, exactly. Well, and particularly with things like social media, you know, you can't get away with being an idiot, you know, or, you know, just being, you know, because you'll get found out. And that's and we're getting such great feedback when we play our concerts, because, you know, a lot of the stuff will, you know, go up onto YouTube, and people saying, man, you know, that band can really cut it. The singers can't, you know, that guy can really sing, and, you know, and that's the ultimate compliment again.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else you want to let the listeners know that I might have missed?
I think we've covered the bulk of it, man. Just that we appreciate, you know, our fans big time. We are all on social media, so we have, you know, packaging the T-shirts and CDs and stuff like that. So we'll you know, sometimes add an extra, you know, a couple of things, whether it be a sticker or guitar pick or stuff like that. So man, you know, I appreciate, Gabe, you doing this, and it helps spread the word. So you know, for all our fans, and for people who are, you know, just listening to us for the first time, we appreciate your support, man.
Well, I can't thank you enough, man, for taking time out of your schedule and letting the listeners know and get a little more insight on you guys and what you're all about, man. So thanks so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Cheers, man.
No problem, man. You're welcome back anytime. And next time you guys have another announcement or another release, come on back and we'll shoot the shit again, man.
Absolutely. Thank you. And when we're in New York, man, I'll make sure that you're a guest at the show.
Awesome, man. Thanks,
Stevie.
Man. All right, man. Have a good rest of your day, dude.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Keep rocking, man. Take care. Cheers.
Bye-bye.